Okay, so once again, you guys are asking for more boom bap stuff, and I'm happy to oblige. I've actually been listening to a little bit more boom bap recently, and with that being said, I actually just subscribed to Kenny Beats on Twitch. And the really cool thing that he does for subscribers is actually put a sample pack inside of his Discord, and basically just lets everyone post their own samples, everyone can get it from each other, so that's what I did. I scoured the entire Discord server and found a few boom bap samples, and I picked one for this video. And it suits my style perfectly. If you guys don't know, I need some sort of soul in my boom bap. I know it's not the most gangsta thing in the world, but old samples with soul just really give me a whole other vibe, so that's what I went with here today. So it would mean a lot to me if you guys would like the video, and honestly, one thing I really enjoy more than likes are comments. I love seeing you guys comment on everything. I want to build community here, and just being able to hear from you guys is just really great, so let's keep that up. Alright, no more talking, let's get into it. Okay, so here's a sample that I picked out from the Discord channel. Now, it is only 2 bars long, which is a little bit short. I mean, I'm at 70 BPM, so those 2 bars will last a lot longer. It's more like 4 bars, but still, I want to make it a little bit longer. And I can actually show you guys where I got that sample if you guys want to go. If you guys are subscribed to Kenny Beats on Twitch, you guys will have access to this too. So it is right here, just this. It's called 21st Century The Way We Were. And yeah, it's really good. Really, really good. I did take some time off camera to get the timing right, because usually when I do that on camera, it just takes me forever and then I just lose focus. So I did do all that right, and it's currently at 70 BPM. The only thing that I don't know is the key that it's in, but I might be able to figure that out a little bit later. So what we have to do is go over here to Fruity Slicer, and usually what I do for my chop ups is I'll put it into a beat, especially because it's so low BPM, one beat lasts a while. All right, now if I'm being honest, I really don't use Fruity Slicer all that often. I usually just do my cut ups inside of the playlist mode, but for boom bap, you kind of need to do some sort of chop up, so we came up with this pattern right here. But one thing I do really like, I'm not trying to change the sample up too much here. I'm just trying to make it like 4 bars long and add a little bit more variety. So I'll see what I can come up with. And for the very first part, I might just be skipping some of the black keys. It sounds like I'm getting like some pops and some clicks, so I need to go over here and turn up the attack by like, let's say like 4 milliseconds. All right, so I think I got something over here. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so 1, 3, 5, 7. All right, now the one thing is this note really stands out, the number 1 right here, this one. So I don't want to have that every single bar. It might get a little bit annoying a little bit too quickly, so I need to find something that continues it. Was this one? All right, so 5, then 6, 8. Yeah, 4, okay. You know what I'm thinking? Actually, we're actually just gonna go and get these over here, the first 2 bars, loop them like that, and then instead of 4, I want it to end a little bit more well, so I'm gonna put this up to a 7 instead of the 4 and see how that works out. Now, when chopping up your melody inside of Fruity Slicer or any other way that you use, whether it be inside of the playlist mode or some sort of thing on Ableton, you gotta remember to do the same thing that you would do when making a melody. You gotta make it end correctly, so you can't just have it all be one big loop, because your song will sound like it's all one big loop, which you don't really want. You wanna have there be a beginning, middle, and an end. That ends really nicely. I really dig that. Okay. Now, the one thing that I will say about using Fruity Slicer, or just basically chopping up anything, whether you're in Ableton or whatever DAW that you use, one problem that I had was I feel like I had to make something sound completely different. But if you look at over here, the 5 and the 6, this is exactly how the sample goes. What you need to have that sort of familiarity with the sample, and you don't need to have everything be like a huge change up every single beat. It's not gonna work out well for you, and that's one thing that I really did wrong for a good long time. So that's one thing I'm starting to get used to, and just going with the flow, don't try to force anything. And if you guys are looking for a lot of big changes in the chop up, we might have something a little bit later. Dope, and our melodies are done. So let's go over here, we're gonna Control-Alt-C this, and then just chop off some of the tail. So let's try and see if we can't do some EQing, because there were some drums in here already, and I want to sort of get rid of them. I mean, you can't really get rid of them, but one thing that I can do is some EQ and then make some room for my drums. We're gonna add a little bit of halftime to it, and then below the fab filter, that way we still get rid of the low end, and going around like right there. Just sounds more full again. Oh, that's really good. So here's our main loop. We're gonna do some more chop ups a little bit later on, but for the time being, this is gonna be our loop. I like this one. I'm actually gonna try and use the playlist mode again, just so I can get a better feel. Whenever I do boom bap, I like using the playlist mode. It just really gives me a better vibe. I wanna get that groove going before I actually start adding any hi-hats. That's all we're gonna need for the kicks. Drag this out so it's up to right there. That was good. I like that a lot. All right, how about some more like crashes or anything like that, huh? Okay, now generally in like trap music, I would really try to make my kicks and my 808 stand out the most. But here in boom bap, I really just like to have my snare peek out more than anything and my kicks be a little more minimal. What? That's just good advice. I don't have anything to say about that. I'm gonna try to do a bass line. I am terrible at actually doing bass lines. I realize using 808, but we're gonna see how this works. And all I'm really gonna do is go over here and grab, do a sine wave, super low octave. I'm gonna have a higher octave at first and then lower it down afterwards just so I can get my pattern going. I can hear it a little bit better. All right, but first I need to find out the key and I'm going to cheat just a little bit. Put on auto key. All right, so I've gotten B minor 3 times in a row. So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and use B minor as my scale. And also using that higher octave in the serum will actually help out to see if it sounds bad or not. B already sounds pretty good. Now one mistake that I usually make whenever I do like this higher octave bass is I'll tend to make it more of like a melody as opposed to a bass line, so I gotta make sure that I actually keep that in mind. Cool, yeah, that'll work. And then just put this back down a few octaves. Alright, I think that is the first part of the beat, and our loop is all good to go. I'm gonna go work out. I need to go eat, work out, and then I'm gonna come back here and arrange all this. Is there anything to say here? Pretty straightforward, right? Okay, so I am now back from eating, working out, eating again, all that good stuff, and I did a couple of things, nothing too major. It was starting to sound a little bit too bright to me. So I darkened it up a little bit by pitching it down by a whole octave and then doing the same thing for the bass as well. And also with the hi-hats, put them off the grid by I think like 2 steps, like 2 little scrolls. And what you can do is if you have it over here, you can just hit shift and then scroll 1, 2, 3, however much that you want. I think I'm only gonna do 1 for right here. Now generally when you're trying to make your hi-hats a little bit more bouncy by putting them off the grid, you wanna try and go through each and every single little one and put them in the right places. For the video's sake of it being too long, I just did a scroll once to the right. But if you really want to get that and put in all the effort for that, feel free, but I just didn't have the time to do it today. Just give it that more like 90s feeling. I'm thinking I want to start with the verse, so I'm gonna cut out this stuff, get rid of that. And I'm gonna bring in the bass for the next 2 bars. I think it's important to do like a 16-bar verse for old like 90s style boom bap. Okay, now yes, you want to do your best to keep the beat as interesting as possible. However, 90s boom bap is very different from today's music. So this kind of music is supposed to make it as easy for an artist to rap on as possible. You don't want to have too many change-ups, you don't want to really be switching things around. 16 bars so they can tell their story, maybe 16 bars for a hook. Not even all boom bap songs have hooks, it's very common to not have one at all. And just have an artist just really tell their story. And then we're gonna cut out the bass right here, and it's gonna sound, actually, yeah, we'll leave it out. You know what, I actually like this right there instead, and then only 2 bars. Alright, I'm actually gonna go grab a drum loop. That might work for a good little transition, like a lot of mod on it. I'm actually going to do a little bit of automation for the drop. Put this right here, make unique, pitch it down. I might need to go get a new pattern. Put that right here, maybe? See if this works. Okay, that actually worked out pretty well. And now we can go add some gross beat. I want to get like a nice little like tape stop. Ooh, what was that? Was that like a drinking noise? That's funny. See how that works out. That's good. We can create some separation in the verse too by just putting it over here as well. Grab that, put it over here. And I think that's gonna be our loop, man. And then copy all of that again, and that's the second part of the loop. Second part of the track, I mean. Except this time we're gonna pull it like that. Make it 8 bars and end around like 3:30. That's good enough with me. That's fine. I think I'm done. Okay, now I did a few more things in the arrangement, but it's very small. I did a lot of EQing, just basically added some distortion to the drums, a couple very tiny little changes in the arrangement, and it's just basically some mixing. So after everything that I did, let's hear what it sounds like. Alright, I think that was crazy. I don't really do boom bap all that much, and I know when you guys requested 90s boom bap stuff, I'm pretty sure you guys mean like gangsta stuff. Music more like NWA, Tribe Called Quest, who else? Wu-Tang for sure. So I'm gonna do that too. Alright, so next video, I promise you guys I'll be doing a beat more along that style, so make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and make sure to stick around. And once again, if you guys found this video entertaining, feel free to hit that like button, it really helps me out a lot. Alright guys, thank you very much for watching, really do appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.